Happening now, the superbug outbreak is continuing to spread this morning as 4 more hospital patients are now infected with the potentially fatal superbug known as CRE. The infections are now linked to a contaminated medical scope at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. Officials say at least 68 people could have been exposed during procedures stretching back to last August. One of the infected patients has died, and lawmakers are now pushing for more safety oversight for medical instruments. And hours of emotional testimony and disturbing footage are expected to continue this morning and throughout the trial of the Boston Marathon bomber Jahar Tsarnaev, who faces the death penalty in 17 of 30 charges in the bombing of the Boston Marathon finish line in 2013, killing 3 people and injuring more than 260. Defense attorneys argue Tsarnaev is not guilty because he was influenced by his older brother Tamerlan, who was killed. The prosecution, however, disagrees and points out his anti-American writings. Right now, the trial is expected to last until June. In response to growing jobless claims, California's unemployment agency has now hired 500 new employees to process claims faster. In response to Governor Jerry Brown's order to beef up staff, a representative says its agents will handle 50,000 calls a week, but apparently it's not all smooth sailing. Glitches in the new computer system delayed benefits checks to nearly 150,000 Californians last year, and California still owes $8.7 billion in federal unemployment loans. And the Senate failed to override President Obama's veto of the Keystone Pipeline by 5 votes. The pipeline would have delivered oil from Canada to the Gulf of Mexico. Supporters say it would also create jobs and lessen our dependence on foreign oil. But critics say right now the U.S. needs to reduce its reliance on fossil fuels. And according to new data released by the Energy Department, the U.S. has so much oil right now that it is actually running out of places to put it. U.S. crude oil supplies rose by about 10 million barrels last week, the biggest jump since 2001, and suppliers say they're now at their highest point in over 80 years. Some analysts predict storage facilities could reach capacity next month and prices could drop to as low as $20 a barrel. We will, of course, keep an eye on that. Local experts, in the meantime, are responding to that report, warning Americans to take that information with a grain of salt. One state petroleum agency called that report, quote, speculation. Energy experts now say the problems stem from recent refinery strikes and accidents. They also point to rising oil prices as evidence of a healthy market.
The storage situation in the United States is not near dire or even detrimental. These are seasonal. They're partly due to the strikes, and they will be absorbed by the market.
Oil insiders predict a general increase in crude prices from now until the end of the year. As I said, we, of course, will keep a close watch on what happens with the price per barrel. 6:06 is the time here on Eyewitness News. It is a Thursday morning. Good morning. Thanks for being with us. I got my smog checked yesterday. I want to give a shout out to all the people on Rosedale there that helped me out yesterday. I walk in and they go, "You're the news guy, aren't you?" And I had my smog done there 2 years ago. No, I didn't get the Mr. Bakersfield. That was over at Nichols Elementary. But yeah, it's kind of nice.
That is nice. Very cool.
Got a compliment. I would never say this, but they said you look younger in person, and I was like, I'll take that as a compliment. Actually,
yeah,
I guess I'd rather look younger in person than older.
Absolutely.
It's got to be weird if you're like, oh man, stick to the TV, because in person you look like a centurion. I don't know. All right, up next on Eyewitness News, a dating app